The United States is massive, the third largest country by both area and population. Yet despite its 334 million residents, vast stretches of land remain unoccupied. Some states, despite their natural beauty and unique appeal, have surprisingly low populations. Why do so few Americans choose to live in these vast, remote regions? Let's find out. And if this video gets 50 likes, we'll cover the coldest regions of the world. Maine is so far north that its residents might as well be Canadian. The state shares a striking resemblance to its northern neighbor, with dense pine forests, glacial lakes, rocky coastlines, and plenty of moose. So why is Maine home to just 1.38 million people, making it one of the least populated states on the East Coast? The answer is simple: the climate. Maine's population is concentrated in the southern and coastal regions, where winters are slightly more bearable. But venture inland, and you'll find harsh, unforgiving winters that seem endless, more Game of Thrones than New England charm. With 89% of the state covered in untouched forest and limited industry outside of Portland, there are few opportunities to keep young residents from leaving. As a result, Maine has the oldest median age in the U.S. at 44.8 years. Number 8. Montana. A land of towering mountains and endless plains, Montana is a dream for adventurers. Yet despite being larger than Japan, it houses just 1.12 million residents. The reason? It's simply not built for modern life. Most Americans, particularly millennials and Gen Z, prioritize economic opportunities and city amenities. Montana doesn't offer much in that regard. The state's largest city, Billings, barely reaches 100,000 residents. And some towns are so remote that the nearest Walmart is a 3-hour drive. Add in some of the coldest recorded temperatures in the U.S. outside of Alaska, and you've got a state that's beautiful to visit, but brutal to live in year-round. Number 7. Rhode Island. At just 1,034 square miles, Rhode Island is the smallest state in the country, so its relatively low population of 1.1 million isn't due to a lack of interest, but simply a lack of space. In fact, it's the second most densely populated state, with nearly all its residents packed into the Providence metro area. However, Rhode Island's cost of living has skyrocketed, making it less attractive compared to its New England neighbors. As expenses rise and job opportunities remain limited, more residents are choosing to leave for larger cities with better prospects. Number 6. Delaware. Delaware is nearly twice the size of Rhode Island, but with only 1.02 million residents, it lacks major urban centers. Wilmington, the largest city, has just 70,000 residents, a tiny number considering the state's role as a corporate hub. Why hasn't Delaware developed a major metropolis? Its proximity to Philadelphia stunted its growth, and most of the state's economy revolves around tourism and corporate loopholes that don't create local jobs. Still, retirees love it for its beaches and tax benefits, making it one of the few states on this list with a growing population. Number 5. South Dakota, home to Mount Rushmore and seemingly endless plains. South Dakota is one of the most sparsely populated states, with just 999,000 residents. Its vastness and brutal winters make it a tough place to live, with long distances between towns and limited job opportunities outside of agriculture and tourism. Unlike nearby states like Nebraska or Kansas, South Dakota feels even lonelier, with fewer signs of civilization between its scattered communities. Number 4. North Dakota. Take South Dakota's challenges, multiply them, and you get North Dakota. With fewer than 780,000 residents, it has some of the harshest winters in the U.S., coupled with scorching summers and frequent flooding. Historically, settlers passed over North Dakota in search of more hospitable land, and its isolation from major urban centers has kept its population low. Even though there's plenty of farmland, many farmers chose to settle in Canada's more fertile prairies instead. The result? A state with vast open land but few people willing to endure its extreme conditions. Number 3. Alaska. The largest state by far, Alaska spans a staggering 665,000 square miles. But despite its size, only 733,000 people call it home. Why? The extreme isolation and harsh environment. Many towns are hundreds of miles apart, with little to no road access. Winters are long, dark, and brutally cold, with temperatures plummeting to 40 degrees in some areas. While the state's untouched wilderness is breathtaking, it also makes daily life incredibly challenging. Even though residents receive a yearly payout from the state, the high cost of living and limited job market make it an impractical place for most Americans to settle. Number 2. Vermont. A picturesque state with charming farmhouses and stunning autumn landscapes, Vermont has just 647,000 residents. Unlike other states on this list, Vermont's small population isn't due to extreme weather or isolation, but rather its deep, rural character. With mountains and forests dominating the landscape, large cities never developed here. But Vermont's affordability and strong job market in Burlington have made it one of the most popular states to move to since 2020. It might not stay near the bottom of the population rankings for long. Number 1. Wyoming. It's no secret that Wyoming is the least populated state, with just 581,000 residents. While it boasts incredible landscapes, it lacks major cities, job opportunities, and infrastructure. In fact, 25% of the workforce is employed by the government. Without it, Wyoming might not have an economy at all. But what Wyoming does have is safety, affordability, and wide open spaces. For those looking to escape city life, it just might be the perfect place. Which of these states would you want to live in the most? Let us know in the comments.